Hey guys, AniMind here, and welcome back to another speedbent video. Today, we are going to be talking a bit more about the MCU. In the last video, I talked about the MCU in general, and today, I'm going to be talking a bit more about specifics about the MCU, mainly the Avengers movies. I did list my favorite movies of the MCU in order in the last video, and as I've said, the Avengers movies deserve kind of this separate little part because they really are a lot different, and today I'm just going to be talking a bit more about those movies and what I think about them. I'm going to be starting in the chronological order in which they were made, and I'll be saying what I like about them, and then I might rate them again if you haven't seen my last video, but I'm not sure. And anyway, so first is the Avengers movie, the first Avengers movie, where they fight against Loki, which has the scepter and the Tesseract. If you don't know, if you haven't seen the Avengers movies, in all the Avengers movies, don't watch this because there might be some spoilers, except for Age of Ultron, because I actually haven't watched it before. I have watched parts of it, but not the entire movie, so I won't be able to talk that much about it. But yeah, and the Avengers movie, it was good, but the story felt arbitrary, as I've said before. The reason why I say this is because the main feature of this movie was superheroes in the same movie. The monster, the villain was quite generic. There was some Thor and Loki stuff, but not nearly enough, I believe. They could have added more in, but they didn't, which was sad, because I really like their brother dynamic. It's a well orchestrated one, and it was done well in the movie, and I would have liked to see more of that in general. Further from that, the rest of the Euros and stuff, they were good. I wouldn't say they were the best that they've ever been. There are obviously better features of them, but once again, as I've said, it was kind of arbitrary, but it was good. It was a good film, and I respect it. The CGI was really, it was a really high level for the time. I really enjoyed the fight scenes. They were done well. Some interesting concepts like the massive flying ship, which I believe is physically impossible, but it still looks really cool and is amazing. And yeah, and then there were, and if I have to rate it out of from 1 to 10, I'd rate it a 7. For the story was a bit lacking, but the characters and the CGI and all of that stuff, that was just amazing. And it was one of the first times that Marvel has done this in a movie, which also gave it some extra bonus points because it felt interesting. Obviously, the next Avengers movie, I believe, was Age of Ultron, which I've already said I haven't seen. I know the basic concept. What happened was Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were introduced here. Quicksilver also died here. Quicksilver had super speed. I don't know if it was Quicksilver. I think he's actually an X-Men. Is from X-Men, but I don't really know about that genre as well. But yeah, and Scarlet Witch survived. Scarlet Witch is like one of the strongest characters in all of Marvel. If you don't believe that, then you should have seen her in Endgame and Infinity War, because I think they really don't use her enough. But anyway, after that there would be yeah, that's mainly all that happened in the story. Obviously, Vision was created, but he also died, which means he was kind of a low character, which wasn't in that many movies. Vision was made to fight against Ultron, And yeah, once again, the story seems interesting. I would like to see it one day, but yeah, Disney Plus. I don't have Disney Plus, so I'm kind of watching it either on cable, or I'm trying to find it on the internet or on YouTube, which sometimes happens. If you get lucky, but other times you just don't find anything. Um, but yeah, and then I'd rate this movie, since I haven't seen it. I rate it an 8 because it introduces a lot of good, cool characters that I really enjoy seeing in the other Avengers movies and movies in general. And yeah, next there is Civil War, and I really didn't like this movie for reasons that most people probably can understand, because it really was just boring. The fight scenes, they were interesting, cool, I guess, and it did bring a bit more of a realistic tone to the Avengers universe, because it didn't seem very I'd say legal what they were doing. They didn't seem like they had the proper permits and stuff. But talking about legal cases and court cases and stuff like that in a superhero movie, it really just I feel like that's a really sad theme to pick. Usually court cases go well with comedy for reasons, because court cases usually are boring and sad, and usually people lose their jobs and everything in court cases, and bring comedy into these things really helps. And yeah, apart from that, I'd say that if I had to rate this one, I'd give it a 5 or a 6. The CGI was good. The superheroes fighting superheroes was really cool. Of course, maybe I'll give it a 6 to 7, because 6.5, because they introduced a lot of characters here into the MCU, which was nice, like Ant-Man, Spider-Man, before Spider-Man even had a movie. So I kind of believe they set that up for him, which really made some good movies and will probably make good movies in the future. And yeah, I really respect that they can do that. I think that the Avengers movies are more like just setups for greater movies themselves. Like, they introduce characters or plot points which they can then put in other even better movies which have only single characters in them. After this, after Civil War, I think it's Infinity War. Because I remember in Infinity War that Captain America was broken out of prison, or came out of prison or something. I'm not sure 100%. Most of this is off the top of my head, as I've said earlier. I don't believe I've said it earlier. But anyway, yeah. And Infinity War, the next movie, I really liked. I'd give this a 9.5 out of 10, maybe a 10, but no movie really deserves that much of a praise, I believe, because it really was amazing. I loved it. I feel like they really learned from the mistakes. They did have a generic CGI army in the end once again, but by that time you're used to it, and they really have good CGI, so the army doesn't look unbearably bad to watch, and you can really have a larger scale. And the amount of characters in Infinite War was amazing, and better than that, the settings, because they introduced new places, like I think it was called Neverdalia, where it's a neutron star that's used to create weapons for gods like Thor, and it's just an amazing location. And or places like Nowhere, or I can't really think off the top of my head, but yeah, these places are amazing, and I really enjoyed these places. I'd give it a 9 over 10, as I've said earlier. Then there's Endgame, and Endgame was the Endgame. There wasn't much to the movie. There were time travel stuff, really nice moments. I don't have much to say about it because there was a lot of hype built up to it, and it wasn't a disappointment, but everyone knew kind of what the ending was as soon as they have seen like trailers and videos and footage from the recording and the shoot of the movie. But yeah, and I did still enjoy the movie. I'd give it a 8 to 9 because it was the follow-up of an amazing movie, and Endgame was great because they ended the movie like no other movie has before, where the bad guys won, and that was a really rare thing that never really happened. I really liked this choice artistically. It was well done, well written. The not the drama, but the feelings. Yeah, kind of the drama. It was just impeccable, and yeah, the actors and actresses really showed what they can do, and the talent, because not every day can an actor in a superhero film be judged purely on their acting, because CGI is always there that has to be good, and at this time we just have people fading to dust, which isn't which you can't make you can make a big deal out of this, or you just can see it as that's CGI. It's not that cool. But with their reactions, it makes it so much more heartfelt, and it kind of began like a trend of other movies where there's a new name for when characters turn into dust instead of having a gory death, and that's just being Thanos snapped or turning into dust or something. It really created a trend and a lot of memes, which is always nice. But yeah, my overall thoughts on the Avengers films, they're really great. Once again, they set up even better movies, and the last two movies were amazing and better than their predecessors. So I believe they can do that more and more and more in the future. And I'm really looking forward to future movies that are part of the MCU but not part of not part of the Avengers catalog. But yeah, I've been AniMind. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Thanks for watching until the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.